Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Black Six Friends with me, Robert.
And me feet.
No Moses. No one knows why. But the best half of the furnace is back. And the best half brought his other half. So right now the furnace is full. And then Peter has brought his other half. So furnace is 1.5 times full.
Oh my gosh.
And then if you add Peter,
Let's be sorry.
so the furnace is about 180% full.
Oh, wow.
I think my math is correct. Yeah.
That math sounds confusing.
About 183% full.
Okay.
No. No. Yes. No. Wait. Hold on. Yes. That's it. Back, live and direct. Yeah. And somehow both our wives have decided to be on the podcast on today's episode,
Yes, we are blessed.
which is quite
We are
brilliant.
blessed.
So let's see what happens. Should we start with sorry, not sorry?
Start some domestics. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Let's go
Well,
with
I've got a question first. I don't know who's in the hot seat, or is it just thrown out to
Well,
anyone?
because it's just us four, we can do like a 1-for-1, so maybe a couple to couple.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. So I asked this question of Andrea the other day. She didn't have an answer for me. So hopefully you guys can help me when you ask this question, right?
Stress.
So in the Bible, the Holy Spirit came upon Mary and Mary became pregnant. If that's the case, shouldn't the Holy Spirit be the Father, since he is he's technically the father of Jesus? That's my question.
So this one.
The Holy Spirit didn't impregnate Mary. Says
He came upon Mary.
The Spirit will come upon you, and by its power you will conceive. So the problem with the Immaculate Conception is it doesn't have to follow physical conception. It doesn't have to follow the rules of physical conception in the sense of there being an egg and a sperm that fertilizes it. I don't believe there was. I believe by the same manner in which God was able to create man from the ground, Christ was created as a baby in Mary's womb without her contribution of the human element. The human element is the divine nature taking on flesh without requirement of there being fertilization. Thus, I don't think that the Holy Spirit had to be the Father because it was Christ. And Christ has his Father, knows his Father, has mentioned his Father on several occasions. And God didn't do the thing with Mary.
So you don't think that Jesus shared any DNA with Mary?
I don't think he shared any genetic material with Mary. No. I think outside of maybe he was breastfed and stuff like that. I think he did take on flesh, so he was a human being. He was still 100% human, 100% divine, and I say that to say there is a mystery there that I don't think I can ever comprehend, but I don't think he gained any sort of genetic material from Mary. We're talking about God becoming flesh. It doesn't have to conform to our rules outside of Christ being entirely human and thus qualified to save humans. So yeah, I don't think she contributed any genetic material other than her womb as a vessel to carry him to term and give him birth. Maybe breastfeed him a little bit. He had brothers and sisters.
A little bit.
A little bit. I imagine Jesus wasn't a troublesome baby, just nurse once a day. But yeah, I don't think he contributed genetic material.
Cool. All right, I'm happy with that.
Do you want to contribute now?
No, you've explained it well, so no, I don't want to contribute.
Yeah, that was a good explanation, I must say.
Cool. Have you got a question for Rob? So I had a question, which is not relevant for either of you now, and I don't know if I want to ask it. I don't want to bring up issues.
What? What question is that?
So I wanted to ask, and no, again, it's not relevant to you guys, but are dating apps evil? And can they be used for good for a Christian?
100%.
They can be.
You think they're evil?
No, I think they can be. No, okay, yeah, I should have been more specific.
Microphone, please.
They are 100% not evil and 100% can be useful for Christians. Especially
I think it depends on the Bible. Not that's the Bible.
The Bible.
The dating app that you're using.
Yeah.
Because if you're on Grinder, you know, there's something is not working right there.
What's Grinder?
It's like Tinder but for gay people.
Why do you know about Grinder?
No.
People talk about it.
I've never heard this one, please.
You know how
Yeah,
the
to be fair, I know about Grindr as well.
Okay, Chris.
Okay.
Why do you know about Grinder?
Yeah, why haven't we heard of it?
Because you guys are pure.
I've heard about it because I used to work in the art scene, so you know.
Okay, yeah.
Podcasts. I've heard about it on podcasts.
Okay.
And it's tech. Unfortunately, it's tech. So I heard about Grindr on a tech show as well, on the use of algorithms and stuff like that to collect information.
Right.
I haven't used it before.
Yeah, it's good to get that out of the way.
Yeah, isn't it?
I know some people have used dating apps before.
I used a dating app before, Robert.
People trying to send shots.
I know. I know. Good.
I was sending shots.
You know, I've used dating apps before, and if I wasn't married, I'd use it again.
Yeah. I used dating apps, but I just found it was just too much admin, really.
Oh, yeah.
Same conversation, same and the pickings were slim. But I do think for busy professionals that don't get out that much or have really long working hours, that don't really have places to socialize, I think it's a good place to start. But I do think as a Christian, you've got to be led. Otherwise, you find yourself just dating a whole bunch of people and increasing your risk of being hurt if you're not very wise. But I think it's good. The same way, I don't know, we have different forms of communication, different ways of meeting people. I think that's just one of them. But the difficulty is that it's not very organic because you are on there. Everybody knows the purpose is not to build a friendship to see where it goes. It is, I am looking for a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or whatever else.
But you know, I would say that is a benefit of using the dating app.
I found that the difficult part because you're going right in, and I want
some of the
someone.
pretense, though. I see what Rob is saying.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from, but for me, I don't know.
I think with dating apps, there's no confusion over
there's
what are we doing, you know. And I think as Christians, we should be purposeful when it comes to dating. So we should be dating towards marriage. And so if you're matched with people and you can straight up ask them, are you ready to be married now? It would say they say yes, you can continue to say no, I'm not sure.
No, but I know what Dreya is saying as well. You want to build on that friendship first before you actually think, because they might not be great match for you for marriage. So you want to know, you want to know beforehand,
But you know, I think for me, because of the type of person I was or I am, I saw it as a means to an end to filter through girls quickly. And I could see really quickly the kind of attributes that a girl had based on the profile that she put. Because for feeling, I felt like a certain type of girl would create a certain type of profile. And one thing I realized, girls are really bad.
I know. If ice could kill.
More and more deadly.
Yes,
more lethal.
What I realized about girls on dating apps, they create their profiles based on what they think is good, as opposed to.
Well, that's what everyone does.
Exactly, but I'm picking on girls right now. Guys need to stop putting that they watch anime in their dating app, in their dating profiles, because that doesn't help anyone. Yeah, but you don't tell girls that girls don't like that kind of thing. You need
the-
to you need to cater your dating app to the kind of person you're trying to attract.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Otherwise, you're just gonna find someone like yourself or no one.
Dreya's just like,
Dating app coach.
Yeah,
All right.
I can write a book on
No.
it.
In as much as I was sending shots, I did also ask because my mom came back from Ghana recently and then came with the do you have any single friends? I've got a you're one of your brothers in Ghana wants a wife, and found myself asking the question, and it did get me thinking about dating apps and whether or not to suggest it to some of my friends that I know that are single. That maybe might be more traditional and might not view it as a good thing. And I think at the end of the day, really, the watering well in the Bible was a kind of dating. It's where you go to find, it's where Abraham's servant went to go and find someone for Isaac, and there's always been a means to getting young people married, whether it was through conquest, like the Benjamites,
Benjamites.
the Benjamites in the Bible. Oh, sorry, the Benjamites in the Bible. No, so they'd gone for a war, and the Benjamites didn't come along, and then out of the spoils of the war, they took wives, but there were not enough for the Benjamites. So they were like, okay, we're going to go and then sack this other place. When the women run out, pick your wives.
Imagine.
It was some weird way of getting them wives. But there's always been a means to an end, and I think in a technological society, it makes sense thus that we would have a technological solution to how do you find a mate, So
Yeah.
there was a genuine reason why I was, in addition to wanting to send shots. I didn't know Dreya had used it. I was just trying to send shots.
And also, I think that, fortunately or unfortunately, not compared to like 10, 15 years ago, communication has become not as good. Because so like communication has decreased, but access to the world has increased, and so I think that dating apps are a way to pave a bridge between the two.
That's fair.
At least for initial conversations, whether they amount to anything, it's up to you guys, up to God. See what happens.
Yeah, no, people get married from dating apps.
Yeah.
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 I know. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say even like people slide into DMs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that, and people.
Yeah.
I can see people getting married. You see all these stories on Bella Niger. We met. This one slid in my DM. They're having like an engagement.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know a YouTuber I think it's in Birmingham, who married one of his friends. One of his fans. His fans slid in his DM. He's a YouTuber, and they got married.
Wow.
I love that. Congratulations to them.
So no, absolutely. Cool. I'm happy with that.
Cool. All right, let's get into the topic for today. First questions first. Have you guys seen Black Panther yet?
We have not. No.
Are you planning to go and watch it?
We want to. We just don't know how.
'Cause,
We're gonna have to get like an afternoon show.
yeah, you have to think of Zara. Where are we gonna?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bring Zara to us so that you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you give it to us after church on a Sunday, go and watch it, and then collect it from us afterwards?
Because you'll be on ends.
True, but then the problem with Sundays is our trek is so long. It's
Okay, yeah.
tiring for her.
You'll
so
be
she gets home and you
exhausted.
can see it in her eyes, and she's like,
Yeah.
and then she's got nursery the next week, and it's like trying.
Well, let's find a Saturday then.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
we need
trying
to
to
figure
find-
out.
yeah.
We need to figure it out. But we want to watch.
Have you
it.
guys watched it?
Yeah, we went to go and watch it the day we came back from Ghana.
What?
Oh, you guys
Literally
are
the day we returned.
You guys are hard.
So we got back around. We landed around 7. Picked up everything by like 8:30. We went to Andrew's mom's house, and then and then I was thinking like we're just gonna go home and nap, and then we'll just be awake during the night. So I thought let's try and use the day. So we went to Pizza Hut. Then went to go watch Black Panther.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds like a lovely day.
It was
Yeah,
lovely,
good.
but
I'm
I just
surprised you guys weren't
we
tired.
even napped in the car. Like
Yeah, we did.
we were
did.
so
Wait, who was driving?
exhausted. I drove, yeah.
How did you? Oh, okay. So it was stationary when you left.
Oh, Peter.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll know. At the same time.
Because it just sounds like it was back to back, and I was like, yeah, we napped on the way.
Yeah, no.
Oh no, so like we had Pizza Hut, then we napped in the car park, and then we went to go watch Black Panther.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, what I want to say is go and watch it.
Oh,
It was a
was
great
it
watch. Great
Yeah.
watch.
That was a
Very
good watch,
lovely.
yeah. I'm trying not to break and watch it via other means.
No.
Don't use any other means. Honestly, you'll do yourself a disservice.
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe when you guys watch it, maybe we can come back and do like a review episode. But based off Black Panther and based, have you seen The Woman King?
Have you watched that either? I don't remember the last time we went to the cinema.
Oh
Yes,
no,
we haven't been
guys.
to the cinema in a while, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing since C has been born.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not since C has been born.
You need to bring Zara here.
Oh no,
And-
that's not true.
Yeah.
No, I watched Doctor Strange illegally. Yeah, no, not since. Not since.
They're gonna get arrested.
You'll
on
start
Disney
hearing
Plus now.
knocks on your door.
I know.
It's on Disney Plus now. Oh, mad. Yeah, we haven't.
You need to find some time. To
I
go
think you
and-
have.
I
No,
must have though. I must
you have. We
Yeah,
went
because
for
I
midnight
watched.
one.
I watched Infinity War.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. So, but we've watched.
I loved
some.
Infinity War.
You.
Yeah, I've watched some. Yeah, sorry. I watched some. Yeah. I had to though.
Well, go and watch Woman King as well. That was another.
So I was gonna ask Black Panther and Woman King, which one is?
You know what's funny? Like the two films are so similar. Like when I was watching The Woman King, I was like, oh, this is just like watching Black Panther. And then when I was watching Black Panther, I was like, they could have easily could have been part of Woman King as well.
Is that partly because of who takes up the mantle of Black Panther as well?
No.
Oh.
Just in terms of the woman warriors. So like the homie from The Woman King are very similar to the Dora Milaje from Black Panther.
Yeah.
But yeah,
think I
both are
saw
really, really
one.
good.
Either Dreya's Instagram or Lena's Instagram, that they were like the actors from there were doing exercises, like doing workouts and stuff. The actors from
Probably Lena.
Yeah.
No, but they came hard in that.
It was so good.
Yeah.
The Woman King. I think even though Black Panther was really good, I preferred The Woman King simply because of its novelty. It was new. And I had no idea what to expect. But yeah.
Yeah. But I will say John Boyega's African accent was trash.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought he'd do a better African accent. Because isn't he Nigerian?
He is.
But he isn't. I don't think he's second generation Nigerian, isn't he? He's born.
Oh, so
and
his
brought up
parents
here.
were... I know, but were his parents born in Nigeria? Or they were born here?
Don't know. I know he was born and bred here.
Yeah, because look, we can put it on easy. You will
Yeah, we
think
don't.
that we came yesterday.
No, I can't. I can't do a good African accent.
You can.
Well, you say I can, but then when I read The Selfish Crocodile in an African accent, you say I'm making noise. Zara's got one book that's set like in the plains of Africa, and I try and read it in an African accent, and it annoys Anita. So
No, it
Obviously I
doesn't
can't.
annoy me. Like
well, last time
your
you said I
voice
should
is
stop it.
raised. That's different from actually saying the thing. Yeah, Peter is trying to act the whole thing like.
A for effort.
Grammy Award-winning performances out here.
A for efforts.
All right. Well, you haven't watched either of the movies, so I won't spoil either of them for you. But I did want to have a discussion around these kind of black-led movies. You know, cause like after like I watch movies like this, I like to go and see reviews and what people are saying. And one thing that I found, and it is continually getting more and more annoying, is that there seems to be this higher expectation for black-led films. So with The Woman King, it's based on like a real tribe in Africa that had women warriors, and there's been a lot of rhetoric about how they portrayed this country's involvement in the slave trade. and how it's not historically accurate. And then with Black Panther, I remember even like with the first one, they were talking about how such a world couldn't really exist economically if vibranium was its only export. And I was just there thinking, like, for all these other movies, you wouldn't be trying to break apart
exactly.
and like break down and deconstruct the worlds. Like you talk about vibranium, but then you're in the same universe. You have gods, you have gamma radiation peoples, and all of this. But because the black people are on top, the economy is you want to come and trash. And yeah, I just wanted to get people's thoughts on why it seems that whenever there's a black film that isn't about slavery or like crime, critics are so much more harsher on it than they would be on their white counterparts. If you notice this, or maybe this is just a me thing.
I won't say I have noticed it in the sense of I've noticed it, but I haven't researched it. So I have noticed that, like, it seems, as you said, black movies that aren't thinking. I noticed with the first Black Panther, I haven't watched the Wakanda Forever, but I've seen sort of, headlines of reviews. So oh, Black Panther was not the same. Oh, Black Panther, why it's a mess? And it's like you look at the thingy, the publisher, and it's at the Daily Mail or something. It's like one of those ones. So it's like, okay, cool. There's clearly an agenda here. And at the very least, I do think it's because commentary on black movies that aren't about slavery end up becoming political commentary, in the sense of, it's all of a sudden the black movie's prosperity ends up being a political statement for black people. Black Panther was like a political statement in as much as it was a movie. It was suddenly a triumph in the black community. I mean, I participated. We dressed up in our traditional wear to go and watch it in Horsham. We were the only black couple in the cinema.
We were African wear.
And we were proper traditional wear in there, because it was a thing. And so I think where black movies of such caliber end up having more significance than just being entertainment, I feel maybe that it doesn't warrant, but maybe that's what draws the ire of such critics, in that they feel they have to make a political statement and then critique it in a way that's maybe a bit excessive. Maybe, but that's what sort of comes to mind. There's maybe a reason why.
Any comments from the ladies?
I think there's always been an issue with the black community being audacious. And it's almost like you can rise, but don't you ever think that you can rise to this height. And people don't like to talk about it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I think the audacity is looked down upon. I think it was a bold move to create a movie like this. I think it was quite audacious, but I do think that black people have to move audaciously, humbly as well, but we have to be audacious. But I think that's looked down upon because it's a threat.
Yeah. And I feel like, I was going to
I was gonna say I agree with Dreya, because I feel like sometimes it's the black community that criticize it more, even like our own people that criticize it even more, because like, oh, the movie's doing so well, why is it doing so well? So that's my
It's funny because it does remind me, sorry Robert, I knew you were going to say something. It does remind me of that collage that went around comparing, I think it was The Sun or The Sun and Daily Mail or something, comparing their coverage of Meghan Markle versus their coverage of
Kate.
Kate. on like similar things, like they wear a certain dress. And for Kate Middleton, it's like, oh, she stuns in this dress, and like Meghan Markle goes against the grain in something, and like it was similar situations, but just even the headlines was presenting one person in an exceedingly good light and the other in a very bad light, and the only difference between them was one person's white, the other person's mixed, sort of thing. So
Yeah. I think that with black people, we just need to create the art or create the stuff that we want to create and not what is expected of us. You know, for me, Jordan Peele's Note, hate it. But for like a black man to venture out into like sci-fi horror kind of genre, there's not many you can say have
I
done
like that for him.
and he's like paving the way for other better films. But you know, Gal was good. What was the other one called? Us.
Us,
Is it
yes.
Us?
Us. That was good.
I didn't manage to watch that. I think
Yeah,
it's
you never
too
watched
scary.
Us?
No,
I've not watched it as well.
scary.
Yeah,
as
it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up.
It's good.
We were gonna watch.
I think so. Yes, I think so. Yeah, and then I think Sarah told you it's scary. Or someone said it's scary.
It wasn't scary. It was jumpy.
It was messed
I
up.
think I was pregnant at that time.
Yeah, it was messed up.
It was scary. No, it wasn't scary. But yeah. So like people like Jordan Peele. Who else? Tyler the Creator, maybe? No, forget Tyler the Creator. Childish Gambino. He was creating art the way he wanted to create art. He went on to do films, all of that stuff. Like, you know, and then like as much as we criticize people like Will Smith, you know, he has allowed Jaden Smith and Willow to just do their own thing. Where I know, no. I'm not talking about Will Smith's part. I'm talking about how they're free to do what they want to do, and them being black isn't a hindrance to them doing that.
Isn't a hindrance to them being kind of crazy and going on out and doing weird stuff. That's not a good thing.
No. But they're being free to explore and try things in a way that black people might not usually, because we're just out here trying to survive, really.
It's an interesting example, and I think I see what you mean. But, because I see what you mean. Yeah.
And that, so like when the restraints of normal everyday are off, what is it that black people can create or be? You know? So, you know, our parents might say you can become whatever you want. But when money and status isn't a problem, you get to push that to its furthest point and see, okay, what can I actually be? Yeah. So I think that people should continue to create art, push boundaries, and we are the forerunners in so much in popular culture. I think we should try and get a bigger piece of the pie. And that's why people like Kanye West are important. As crazy as he is, you know, he's trailblazing. He's pushing forward. He's breaking down the barriers.
In what way, really, though?
How many other like black fashion designers do you know of?
Wasn't the fashion designer of Louis Vuitton black? Virgil or something?
He wasn't the designer. He was the, I think it was like a director, but he wasn't like the designer.
That was a designer that did something.
No.
Fair enough. But then, I mean, go back to Ghana, go and look at the kente and stuff that they're creating. Like, the art is there. You wear Woodin shirts. The artistry is there. Like,
yeah, but he's taking it to like a global scale.
No. I think you're elevating Kanye to something that he's not. He's just making noise, and I think that, you know, the media loves that because Yeah, no, because he's not. Is he saying anything of importance? Is it like? Yes, he's a rapper. I don't know his fashion. I'm sorry. Yeezys the shoes are ugly. They look like
Yeah,
aliens on
they
your
are
feet.
crotters.
His
Yeah.
clothing looks like it's designed for homeless people. Like,
What?
yeah, no, it does. It does. Am I wrong?
Fashion.
Sorry?
Fashion. It's fashion.
For homeless people. Yeah, it's for
Some
like.
people like it though. Like that's fashion.
Have
some
you seen
people.
anyone wear Kanye's clothes on the street? I
Some
haven't.
people buy them, don't they?
People
People
do.
buy
No,
the
yeah,
shoes
absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
In the-
Other celebrities buy.
In defense, in their defense, Peter, the kind of people that can afford Kanye clothing, you will never see them. So you don't be rolling in
I
those
don't roll in
circles.
those circles. I do not. I do not. I don't roll in that tax bracket at all. But my point is, like, I'm sorry. What is he doing for any culture? Like, we say that apart from making headlines for saying random stuff. I mean, even to that end, if he was to say he will go DEFCON 9 on black people, no one will bat an eye. He says he's going DEFCON 9 on Jewish people, and all of a sudden he's cancelled. Okay, that's his own thing that I have opinions on. But outside of inflammatory things like that, like, is he actually pushing the culture forward in any way? Like, I don't see what's his contribution. I don't see it. Sorry, I really don't.
Okay.
I don't. His music I didn't like to begin with. His
Just because you didn't
That's
like his
enough.
music.
yeah.
So
But then that was
I'm
the
just
only
didn't like
thing-
his music. That doesn't mean that his music wasn't very influential in how music has been shaped today.
Maybe. Okay, I'll give that. Maybe, but I haven't seen it. So
Yeah, you have. Well,
maybe I'm uninformed.
you've seen it, but you haven't realized that you've seen it.
I doubt it. No.
Bruv,
But yeah.
so much music production is the way it is today because of Kanye West and how he created music.
I maybe I don't know.
That's just.
I don't know. So maybe his contribution in music, cool, but they laud him as some sort of contributor to the culture in some way, and I just don't see how. I don't see how he's doing that. Apart from maybe he was a musical genius to some people, cool, but outside of that, I don't see what he's doing to contribute to anything. I don't. I really don't.
I guess it depends on what you deem as a worthy contribution. Like what do you define contributions as?
A
Like,
black man becoming president of America
Wow.
and being the only president that didn't have any sort of scandal, or not the only, but in recent memory. What kind of scandal did Obama have? Of the nature of a Monica Lewinsky or a Donald Trump grabbed them by their XXX.
He doesn't have those kind of scandals, but more rockets were fired under his presidency than any other presidencies.
Yeah. So he was, in American terms, a man of action. No, but what I'm saying is that's something that I think is more of a worthy contribution to make to a culture. Now you guys can be president of a fairly racist country, or Tyler Perry owning his director. No,
Wait,
his
hold
studio.
on. Go back to Obama. What did Obama being black president do for black people?
But it doesn't have to be for black people, because he was president of America.
No,
He
but
wasn't
no,
president
but
of Black America.
With Kanye West, we were talking about how Kanye has added
His
to
contribution to black people is that now you can be president. As opposed to now you can go and drink champs and get cancelled.
No, but Kanye has
Sorry.
but Kanye has also shown you can go and get into those top echelons of fashion and of music.
Yeah, I agree with Robert.
You're
because-
disagreeing with Robert because you want to disagree with me.
no, but I do feel that Kanye.
And just because you don't find fashion or music important, and plus, not every black person can become president.
Yeah.
Just like
No, but it's when you talk about a trailblazer, when you talk about someone that makes something that seemed impossible possible, That's what Obama has done, and
No, because
I'm
no,
sorry,
I know
Kanye
because
wasn't the first to get into fashion. Like there've been people before him in fashion, and as I said, there's been creativity and artistry in Africa long before any of these things came out that I think are much better than some of the fashion we see on the highway where they look like they're wearing scaffolding sometimes.
but it's about seeing how far you can push it, and Kanye's showing how far it can be pushed.
Push what?
The
The
boundaries,
boundaries,
like the
or like how far like you can achieve.
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just don't see it. Sorry.
Because you're a hater. It's okay though. It's okay though.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Maybe. I'm just a hater.
Okay, it's emotional with this.
I'm not.
Like, Peter is going off.
I'm not. I'm just,
You know, despite his faults, I still think Kanye West is great.
Cool.
Great. Honestly. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so moving back to the previous topic about having to work harder. What's been your guys' experience of being black and having to work harder, if at all, or have you not seen that you needed to work any harder to get where you are? Or have you felt that being black has ever stunted your progression in any way?
I wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't say stunted my progression. Maybe because of how I look at it. So I've always looked at it as an advantage that people underestimate me, because I've seen that. I've seen being underestimated, and you open your mouth to talk, and they're like, oh, you talk really smart, and it's only because I'm not talking like within it or something, or with an accent. Like, it's not because I'm saying anything smart. It's only because I'm not talking the way you expect me to talk. And so it's like, well, I didn't have to do much to sort of meet your expectation, because your expectation of me was so low. Now the problem is then if that becomes my sort of the ceiling for me, then I'm doing myself a disservice, and so I've not let that be my ceiling. But it's always been, well, fine, you can underestimate me. That just means, as far as you're concerned, the little I do will be so impressive, and I'm trying to do the most, if that makes sense. So I've seen that. I've seen the underestimation. I've seen the, oh, you talk white, or I've had that before. I've seen the, oh, you don't act like a guy from South London. I've seen that before. But it's the same thing with being a slightly bigger guy. They don't expect you to kick to the head, and so when I'm kicking people in the head, they're like, oh, I didn't expect that. And it's not because of anything. It's just because your presumption of me was that I couldn't. And I use that to my advantage. And so that's the same sort of approach I have for that. But then again, I also have the distinct advantage of being a guy that looks like I carry a knife. And so I maybe don't get some of the disrespect. I know in pharmacies, sometimes you get treated a certain way that maybe another person won't get treated, because you're a pretty petite, lovely lady. So
Yeah, because I was even gonna say, like, when I go to Boots, like it's very rare you see like a black pharmacist. It's usually Asians.
Yeah, beauty.
So,
Yeah.
well, what's your experience been, Anita?
So I think with community pharmacy, definitely when patients come in, you can tell there's a difference with the way if it's a black pharmacist, or I haven't, but you could feel, you could see it, like they underestimate you and they talk to you differently, or they don't expect you to be like, okay, who's the pharmacist?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm the pharmacist.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you a medication if
you're
not nice.
The way I would poison you. I'm not
no, you can't poison.
Fair. It's only
Yeah,
good.
but I think with working in the GP surgery, it's more they underestimate you, and there's a way that obviously with where I work as well, is like you barely see any black people there. So me coming in, pharmacists, they've never had a pharmacist before, and me speaking up as well, they were like, not, but I think they were not expecting me to speak up when I wasn't happy. They were expecting me initially, I'd be like, yes, okay, I'll do it, and then me CCing someone into it, or me saying, no, I'm not gonna do it, and they're like, okay, this girl is, let's back off a little bit, and then they've backed off. So there's definitely, a difference, but as Peter said, you can use it to our advantage as well, and just prove them wrong. Basically, yeah. Yeah. What about you guys, Dreya?
What about for you? Because like you work in I would say like predominantly black workplace.
Yeah, so I work in Southeast London. I work in Lambeth, and it's majority black people. You get the odd, like, oh, you speak so well, you know, were you born here? Oh, where are you from? and like, if you're black, you automatically assume that you weren't born in the UK. But I've never I've never taken offense. I've just found it really funny. Like, I've had some very interesting interesting comments and you find that it happens by really old school people that were born in like the 40s or the 50s or the 30s. So yeah, I don't really take offense. I don't think I've ever had been in a place where I've been the only black person, unless it's something I'm studying or it's a class that I'm in. But all of my workplaces, I've worked in Southeast London for a majority of my working life. So it's only courses, and I just don't take offense with it. I don't know. I think because I'm so kind of proud in my skin and my abilities that I've never really thought about it. Like, I sense it, but I'm like, oh, that's you guys lost. But yeah.
Do you feel like it doesn't phase you as much because like currently you're in a predominantly black place and so you are the majority?
I couldn't tell you because I haven't seen the other side, but I feel like I've spent long enough in a predominantly black place to be comfortable with, because I know that it's something that happens. So I try not to take it personally. Like, yeah, because it's something that happens. I don't know. When people complain about it, I'm like, this is UK. Do you know what I mean? You're still gonna get people like this.
I feel like it's easy to get hung up on it. It's easy to let it become a ceiling for you or a anchor that holds you in place, and then you're like, well, I can't do anything. I can't.
It's an excuse.
That's how I feel.
It's an excuse.
I'm trying to be sensitive to it because I think there is a reality to. It's hard. It can be hard, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I've been the only black person in the workplace like a couple of times, and working out in the sticks as well, going up to work in Horsham or something like that, and like literally being the only black person there. And I think I've been fortunate that I've worked in areas where it's like I'm there for a specific role and the role needs to get done. So it's not like you can't, you know, I'm there, I'm doing the role. And if I'm not capable, it shows. But then there's also work that needs to be done that is then given to me. So it's more of a meritocracy than anything. And I think I've been fortunate in that, in those environments, and I've worked with some Christians as well, and yeah, in those environments it's never been a problem being the only black person there, but you still do get the off comment, you still get the, again, you know, someone trying to compliment you, oh, you don't act like you're from thing. There was one time someone was having a seizure and everyone was panicking, and I'm like super calm, call the ambulance, do what you need to do, and I think that's just because that's me, but they're like, oh yeah, he's from South London, so he's probably seen that a lot.
Unbelievable.
I was like,
you get the Southeast London comments so much, yeah.
Seriously, it's like, yeah, he's used to conflict, so that's why Peter was calm. Call the ambulance. I was like, oh God.
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
You know, the simple thing that you're trained to do as a first aider. You know?
you know.
But I think
Southeast
also
London
it's-
has a reputation, boy.
It does.
It does. It does.
I was gonna say also it depends on the sector you work as well, and
Yeah.
also
Yes.
healthcare is that you don't have a role. You're relating to people.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
example, Dreya, with
That's
the,
very true.
the work you do, like you're talking to people
Yeah.
all the
That's very
time.
true.
You're not just
Yeah.
given a job to do. Okay, you need to do this and go. That's different.
Yeah.
And with healthcare, I think it can be difficult because well, sometimes I take it personal,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I don't put it on them. I hurt and I hang on to it a little bit, and then I let it go. I speak to Peter and I let it go. And like you said, you just realize people are people. It's gonna happen.
Mm.
We just need to prove them wrong in the end. But
This is it.
that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt sometimes.
Or even yeah, and that's the thing. I tend to be insensitive to that because it still hurts. But I'm like, even maybe you don't even have to prove them wrong. Like, who are they? Like, who cares? You know, it's like their opinion shouldn't count for anything. It doesn't count for anything, really. No offense, but who cares what you think of me? I don't know you, and I don't care. And it's like, you know, so it's not even about proving them wrong. It's just about, I think, us being our best, you know. And I think we can. And I think
Being our best, yeah.
in school, in college, for instance, like we've got Anita's award for outstanding achievement. Yeah, from college, and I got an award as well for excellent attendance. And it's like, yeah, I was in Ghana, man. I was in Ghana. We paid school fees to go to school. Like, you don't just not attend school. And so it's like, again, things like that. I think that the culture also values different things, and I think that gives us an advantage more than anything else.
That's really good.
So yeah.
What about you, Rob?
I think I make myself oblivious to it on purpose. Otherwise, I'll just be rolling my eyes all the time. Like I'm doing some freelance work at the minute. Doing some like finance stuff for a company which shall not be named, and they want to keep me on until they find someone to fill this their slot. But they've made it very clear that they want the slot to be filled by a person of color.
What?
This is the thing. This is the other thing.
A token black person.
Yeah. That's.
And you know, it's
that's
crazy.
fine.
You know, and like this place, like I've seen how they recruit in the past, and like they'll legit go through candidates and look at their last name to see to like try and gauge if they have enough people of color applying for the job.
Yeah.
Why you could get like a bonus or like a thingy if you.
But again, now it's a political statement. Now it's a ethnicity and diversity thing.
It's a lot more like with job like roles. It'd be like, oh, if you're from a minority group, it's beneficial. I'm like, what are they getting money? Are they getting paid? It's different from.
No, but again,
it just looks good.
Bottom line. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does affect the
it
bottom
looks
line.
good.
If you can say we're a very diverse company, then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
exactly.
you're an ally and you are all of these things. So it does affect their bottom line. They do get money from it because it's good advertisement. It's good to say we're a diverse company and we hire people of color, and it's like, yeah, and I think that's the flip side of it is then you have the tokenism, you have the we need to fill in these numbers. You also get the oh no, Fita, come to the front of the pictures. Like, I'm not pretty. You just want me there because at least you got one black person in there and you're diverse.
And what do you guys think about companies celebrating Black History Month and the sort?
Look, a company's designed to make money, so whatever they will do that will help them make money, they will do. So they'll do the Black History Month. They'll put the rainbow in their logo on their social media. They'll do all of these causes. I don't think it's genuine. Like the CEO is there losing sleep at night because he's thinking there's so much injustice in the world for people of color. I don't think that, especially for like the super big companies. I think it just ends up being marketing. Personally,
Basically.
but maybe I'm cynical. I don't know.
No, you know, it's so true. Like people on one hand will say black people aren't treated well, but those same people will cross the road when a black person comes their way. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just comes across as very
Hypocritical.
insincere
Yeah,
and like icky.
yeah,
It's like, bro, you don't care,
yeah.
Yeah.
but as long as you're seen as to care,
I don't think anyone will be happy either way, though, because if a company doesn't do it, then it's a problem. If they do it, then they're insincere. If they don't do it 100%, then it's like, oh, you shouldn't have done it at all. You can't win with these things.
you can't. Which is why I think don't try and win. I say don't take part, because as soon as you start to take part, more and more will be expected of you.
But
I think take part and do your best.
yeah, well, yeah, do your best, but I don't think they're trying to do their best. I think they're just doing something like,
But we don't know the conversations that are happening in boardrooms.
That's
We
very
don't know the
true. That's very
conversations
true.
that's happening in their equality, diversity, and inclusion places. Like I've been on LinkedIn a lot and just like been spying on certain conversations, speaking to certain people, and I know that companies are really trying to make the effort in hiring or just having someone fill that space because they're aware that they don't have the language or the knowledge to help the company grow in this particular area. So they're open to employing people that can give them the language, that can point them in the right direction, that can signpost them to, okay, how can we make sure that our company does what it says, or yeah, does what it says. So if we're inclusive, how are we that? If we're diverse, how are we that? And I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of companies creating this position so that they can be better. And you only employ for a position if you know that you can't do the job.
I feel like if you have to, I feel like if you're really inclusive and diverse, you don't have to tell anyone that you're inclusive or diverse, because that's just part of your DNA and who you are.
But then that's the role of that's because companies are realizing that they are not. So they're employing these people so that they can inject what needs to be injected so that they don't have to profess it. The marketing will change, the language will change, the adverts will change, the social medias will change.
But also, one thing I learned recently, or I didn't realize, was something said, which I thought was quite interesting, was that there's actually an overrepresentation of Black people, or like of minorities, because
in
like,
workplaces.
yeah, because like if you look at how many minorities there actually are in most of these countries, like in the UK and in America and the sort, we only probably like 5 to 10% of the whole population.
But when you say an overrepresentation, it may seem like an overrepresentation, but then if their white counterparts or all the other people are already being represented, it's, I don't know.
No, so like when I say overrepresentation, if you want your company to reflect what you live in, yeah, and 1 in 10 people is Black, if you have 2 out of 10 people being Black, that's overrepresented, because out of every 10 people, only 1 of them should be Black if it's representing what you live in. If that makes sense.
It makes sense, but it just depends on what you're trying to attract, because you shouldn't just want 1 out of 10. You should want 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. So you're going to, I don't want to say overrepresent, but you're going to market that so that you attract that.
But then the danger of that is you're trying to attract a smaller market, or like you're trying to bring in a smaller market. Then you could, I'm not saying you make everyone white, but I'm saying that maybe resources could be better spent trying to attract the wider audience as opposed to the small audience.
Who's the wider audience?
Yeah, like the wider audience.
Who's the wider audience? Considering by default, black people, Indians, all of them are classed as a minority. So if you're in the USA or the UK, automatically you are a minority.
Yeah.
So wider audience, the black, brown, and Asian are always going to be the minority.
Yeah.
So, which is the attraction? You want to get more of the minority in so that you feel your company is balanced, so to speak. Because we're not trying to represent the world's population, we're trying to dictate how we want our company to be.
Mm, I hear you.
I
I don't
think
know
I
if
But we
think
could talk about this all
ideally,
day.
yeah, I think ideally, Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream was that, you judge a man not by the color of his skin, by the context of his character. And ideally,
Love that.
again, we don't live in an idealistic world. It would not be about representation or this. It would be about getting the best. The only difference is
Yes,
all people would be given opportunity to be the best, which is, I think, the source of the problem. You don't have as many black engineers because black schools or black parents aren't pushing their kids to be engineers. They're pushing them to be, oh no, artists, sorry, is a better example. You're not having as much black artistry because black parents are pushing their kids to be doctors and lawyers and things of prestige. And so the problem comes, I think, more grassroots. And these things end up being, I think, plasters on, severed limbs as opposed to really treating the root cause of the problem.
Question. So just based on what on what you said, do you guys feel like you have any preconceived ideas or wishes for what Zara would become when she's older?
Well, in terms of
In terms of career, even hobbies.
Go first.
I don't. So I'm trying to. I'm actively trying to not. What was the word? No, actually, being completely honest, I am trying to actively involve her in the things that I'm interested in, because that's where I'll be the most knowledgeable, the most passionate. Those will be the things that's easiest for me to give to her. But I think that we're also quite receptive to what she wants to do. Not in the sense of, oh yeah, she leads and we follow, like Dwayne Wade was saying some stupid nonsense. But no, in the sense of seeing what she's interested in. So she's taken a liking to swimming. I don't swim. I literally can't swim. But we take her swimming lessons, and she's shown an interest. She loves it. She enjoys it. Unfortunately, I can't take her to MMA with me just yet. So I have to wait till she's 4. So I can't wait till she's 4 to start taking her to that and seeing if she wants to do it. I think the problem I had, or the problem, I don't know, I don't know if I can speak for Anita specifically, but the problem I had was my parents not being as invested in my interest. And thus, I was like, why are you doing karate? Does it not hurt? Like, why are you doing so? Why are you in the cadets? Does it, stuff like that? And it's like, that, it would have been nicer for them to be more interested. But again, they didn't stop me. And I think for me, what I'm trying to do, at least, is be receptive to what she wants, but expose her to what I know, and then see where she chooses. And so it's not preconceptions as to what she should do. It's seeing where she will go, but then in her getting there is exposing her to what we know, sort of thing, so that she can find her feet, as it were.
I think for me, yes, like what Peter said, expose her to as many things. Like I was speaking to Ken at church regarding piano lessons. I was like, oh Peter, let's think of maybe acting school or dancing. So I'm not restricting her to what I think she should, even though sometimes I'll be like, no, I don't think you should do that, but yeah, I'm not gonna restrict her, or you have to be a doctor, or you have to be a teacher, or like when we were growing up, that was like kind of, or when you grow up you have to be a teacher, you have to be a doctor, and
Doctor, lawyer, accountant.
Exactly. There's like 4.
Yeah. We did a podcast on it. You're either a doctor, lawyer, accountant,
Engineer,
Engineer.
or a failure.
teacher.
Yeah.
Back home was teacher as well.
You want her to be self-sufficient. You're able to take care of yourself, and it's just a matter of whatever you want to do. That's a basic necessity. So you want to.
But that's what you say now. I pray that I say the same thing. Like when she's older, or like when we're older. I was like, oh yeah. I'm not like, oh yeah, my mom or my parents. I'd be like, I don't think you should go. You should do this. Or this is not gonna fetch you money. Don't do fashion. Just go into nursing or something.
Well, I was just about to say, no child of mine should come and say they want to go and do film studies at university.
Film studies.
But there were guys in university who were doing film studies. They were legit being 2 days a week, and then that was it.
Maybe because the other days they were working on their films.
Yeah.
True.
What about for you? Do you have any preconceptions about what you want our children to do?
100%.
No.
I love the honesty.
I know. That's a whole plan.
100%. Like, there was, I think everybody knows the story of, was it Samson? And his parents sought God, one, what to name him, and two, what his purpose would be. What would you have this child be? And I just know that I would have loved for that to been done with me. So not necessarily I'll control the direction of their future, but I will very much be exercising the authority and the wisdom that God gives me to steward this child's life. So if I feel that they are going a direction that I really don't believe the Lord said they should go, I will very much mention it whilst exposing them to everything. Like, one of the things that I always say is I love how Robert's mum raised her boys. That she gave them she trained them up in a skill. So she put them to study a skill that will always make room for them. Music is universal. Each and every one of her boys know how to play a minimum of 2 or 3 instruments. Because she had a vision. So I think I'll have a vision for our children while still allowing them to, be free and explore themselves. But I was saying to Robert the other day that they can explore their arts, but just so long as they stay in academia. Depending on where the world is in the future, but I would like for them to have something academic and then explore their artsy, and by God's grace will have money to fund their arts whilst they study. But I'll 100 have a plan for them.
No, I think part of the nonsense of the new age or whatever is, oh no, let them find their way and stuff like that. It's like, if you leave a child in the desert and they find their way, they're gonna die. The Bible says train them up in the way they should grow.
Train them up.
Depart from it. And I think that means you give them your values. You give them what you think is, what you equip them, as you said, as Robert has been equipped. You equip them with what they need, and then you can trust that they will find their way because you've given them what they need to do so. I think part of the problem was, especially for sort of maybe our generation, was our parents were thinking more, one, the prestige. Oh, my child is a doctor. My child is a doctor. But then also, on a more positive side, they were like, you need to be able to fend for yourself. You need to be able to take care of yourself. You to provide. So yes, a doctor pays a little bit more than film studies, and so they'll push you towards medicine more than they'll push you towards film studies for those reasons. I think in the same way, I think tech is the way forward. So we've been looking at schools, and a big thing for me has been tech. But then you also, in saying that, we also understand, numeracy, literacy, especially for a black person,
Yeah.
is very important. So Anita's like,
Important.
oh, they're doing their maths, they're doing their English. They're not using iPads the whole time. We went to one school and it's like, that was a big thing. It's like, you go there, they're all looking at iPads. It's like, nah, we can't be doing that.
They had 2 screens in the class.
3 screens.
And then they had
Three screens,
iPad,
and
their
then
own
iPads.
iPads as well.
And that was their selling point. And I'm like,
Wow.
nah.
Yeah.
They'll come home and have, oh yeah.
So I think it's equipping them, and I think that's the responsibility. I think the danger of the new sort of age is trying to say that they can equip themselves or something stupid like that, which I think is just,
And also with this new age, I think in our parents' defenses, back when they were raising us, the world wasn't as big, and there wasn't as much that you could possibly do. Like yesterday, I was watching this guy, and his job is legit filming food for like fast food restaurants, and then he's like got all these engineering things set up so that all the pieces will fall in line one on top of the other. He was sick, and that's his job. That's his full-time job. There's one guy, he paints the burgers so that they look like the right color and stuff. That's his job. Whether I could go and tell my mom that's what I do. But if it's paying the bills and it's making you happy,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think with children, kids won't know right away what it is that they want to do. So I think as parents, we just have to make sure that we expose them to as much as we can and give them space, because
And instill purpose from early.
yeah, like don't let them go and be free and wild, but still provide that their space so that where they can explore, maybe find something that you couldn't teach them because it wasn't in your experience, to be able to say, hey, maybe you might like to do, I don't know, ice skating, because in Ghana there's no ice. So but yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
We're going to pass it out now.
Yes. Ooh. 2 cups.
Yeah, I can go first on hookups. So my hookup is a song by Bizzle. Bizzle is a Christian rapper, but this song is explicit, so be warned. But it's called.
It's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it?
Well, no, because he's just talking about what's going on.
Going on where?
Or what
In
makes
society.
it explicit?
Well,
He's swearing.
he uses the N word and he uses the S word.
Oh, shock horror.
I know, right? Yeah.
A Christian rap. This is the kind of Christian rap you listen to, PR?
This is the kind of Christian rap I listen to. Yeah.
You might as well listen to Kanye West, to be honest.
Well, no, he's quoting Kanye West. He's quoting Kanye West on one of them. Like one line is literally, I will kill a N word, and I will kill a Jew. One of those will get a black billionaire cancelled. One of those is cool. And he's just making the point. He's just making the point that one of those sentences will get you a Grammy. One of those sentences will get you cancelled. Like, what's going on there?
Steep.
So he's just making a point. However, to make the point, he has to use the word, and to use the word is to be explicit.
He doesn't have to.
He does. I think he does. I think he gets the point across. Because that's the word. That's what they say. Of course, it's like, the thing they do. They just rub it a little bit so he's not saying the full word. I think it makes the point in a very stark way that's hard to ignore. And Bizzle's always been one that's got like really good theological content and social commentary. So yeah, that's my hookup. Bizzle Bamboozled.
Cool. Baby, wanna go next?
My hookup is the Bible.
Hey.
It's called the New Spirit-Filled Life Bible.
Hey. Which one's this?
I said A.
I said the new spirit. I didn't know there was a new spirit. Yo.
Serious.
It's called New Spirit-Filled Life. So you have a new life and it's spirit-filled. I've got the NKJV version. I had it before, and got lost in transition, and I was moving houses, and then I got gifted another one. And it's just wonderful. It is, for me, it's a wonderful study Bible. In terms of, it just shows you the Holy Spirit literally through all the scripture. So if you have a Bible with no commentary, no nothing at all, and you have no other study stuff, I think this is a really cool Bible to have, just to help you get to know the Holy Spirit and God and Jesus through all the books in the Bible. Yeah. And even at the back, there's like an evangelism tool to help you evangelize and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Bible at the moment. So yeah, New Spirit Filled Life Bible. You can find it on Amazon.
Cool. Anita?
I didn't have any hookups, but actually I thought about YouTube sister lady I watch sometimes. Sweet Adjeley.
Oh my gosh, I love Sweet Adjeley.
Yeah, so
we reached 1 million subscribers a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I watched it. Her shorts that she did, like she did it live, isn't it?
Yeah, she did it live. Yeah,
that's my hookup.
You know Sweet Adjeley.
I think I showed you her.
No, I knew her.
No, Anita showed me her. Yeah.
No,
that's us. Well, it's not the lady I was to my air fryer recipes from.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the lady. You told me after, but I knew Sweet Adjeley.
You're begging it, bro.
Okay.
I have definitely followed some of her recipes for like jollof and stuff.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, that's my hookup.
My hookup is a movie. It's called Before Sunrise.
You ain't told me about this.
We legit tried to watch it one time and you fell asleep.
So,
but this was way back in the day. Not even back in the day. This was right in the beginning of our marriage when we didn't have a TV. So we watched it. We legit had a box and the laptop was on the box.
We started humbly.
That's how we were watching it. But yeah, Before Sunrise is what is it? It's a love story, romance story about this couple that meet on a train, and I think the girl is going to Austria or something, but her train is not until the morning, and so they get off the train and just spend the night walking around Austria and doing stuff. And yeah, it's a really slow burn, but it's
definitely a slow burn.
Shut up. It's so well done. It's so well done. And I love the way that it's able to tell this story while seeming so ordinary at the same time. It's great. I think Ethan Hawke's in it. You don't even know who Ethan Hawke is. This guy from Training Day.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say Moon Knight because that's his most recent showing, isn't it?
I haven't watched Moon Knight, so I couldn't say. Cool. Flip. What's the date? Is it the 12th of December?
No, today's the 17th of November.
No. Moses has a...
snap. Sorry. Yeah, okay.
Stupid boy.
Hey, that's rude. You think you're a Ghanaian dad or what? Only Ghanaian dads can say stuff like that.
Let me find you. I think it was the 12th.
Is your phone broken?
No, it's on go to bed mode now.
Yes, it's the 12th of December.
Yeah, 12th of December. In Kingston, is it in the university?
I think I don't know, but the postcode is Kilo Tango 1 Juliet Sierra.
Anyway, so as you can tell, we are very bad at personal information. But Moses is having an exhibition called Waves.
Yep. Check it out.
You can't see. Put it down.
You can't see at all. You're just trying to.
So I tried. But so Moses is having an exhibition. I think it's going to be very good. So he did an Instagram exhibition on trees, no, on nature. And this one looks like it's going to be on water.
He did an Instagram. He did an digital exhibition on poetic form using nature,
Wow.
which was super conceptual and just very interesting. You want to talk about art being pushed? You know, I thought it was really good. And he's got
So
like a
good.
physical exhibition coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good shout, Robert. Good shout, remembering it.
Yeah, you need to make sure that
But Mo should have been here to say it himself.
he should have. So you know what? Forget that. Don't go.
No. Guys,
No, if you even take this part out, so no
Stop
one can even know.
it.
Nah, I'll put in the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us today.
Indeed.
Pleasure.
Let's do the outro stuff.
It's been nice.
Shout out Ruth for the intro outro music, Calvin Turner for the Audrey amazing logo, Twitter at The Furnace UK, Instagram at TBS Furnace. You can email us at tbsfurnace@hotmail.com. You can find us at soundcloud.com/The Black First No Apostrophe. I'm trying to think. On all good podcast websites and apps, including iTunes, Spotify. No, I don't think it's iTunes anymore. I think it's Apple Music.
End of service. Yeah.
Yep. You can type in Black Furnace with an apostrophe. And that's it.
That is it, and that's the best outro we've had in the past couple of weeks. I mess it up hard.
Right. And that's why I'm the best part of the furnace. Best half of the
but
furnace.
Remember a few things. Well done.
Cool. Well, this is the Blacksmith's Furnace.
Shout out
signing out.
to. I wanted to give a shout
sorry.
out to whoever is watching. Someone's watching. I don't know who.
Make yourself
Hi.
known.
But
What's
shout
your name?
out to whoever's watching as well. I can't tell who's watching.
Shout out
Normally when
to
OD's watching,
who's watching.
he jumps in the comments, but we have a silent watcher. But thank you for watching.
Thank you for
joining us.
watching.
Or maybe it's Moses.
Possibly. But
I guess we'll never know.
Is it Moses' date night today?
No, he changed his date night. No, it was never Thursdays. Because Thursdays is podcasting.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, this is the Blacksmith's Furnace. Signing out. Blow. It's David! It's David!
oh,
Yo, D-Wag. D-Wag.
Is it David the one that got married?
Shout out to D-Wag.
I think so.
Congratulations,
Yeah, David
David.
was one of my groomsmen. David's been there since we met in second. Anyway,
Oh.
shout out David, man.
Hi, David.
Shout out
Shout
to
out,
David.
David.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Shout out.
Well, it's 11 o'clock. That's crazy.
It is, yeah, mad late.
Well, this is the Blacksmith's Furnace signing out. Blow.
See you, Neats.
see you.